Welcome back! Kathleen Hart here from Little Piece of Hart. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a low-carb zucchini gratin. It's going to be amazing. And I know you probably heard me say a weird word, gratin. Some people call it a gratin. I don't know. I like to make it sound a little more sophisticated and call it a gratin. Everyone in my family makes fun of me for it. You can too. It doesn't bother me. It's whatevs. But we have to start off with our main ingredient, a zucchini. Now, this is a humongous zucchini. I was lucky enough to go to a farmer's market and get this. Now, if you don't have zucchini this big, sometimes they are half the size and a lot skinnier. What we're going to do here is we only need a pound of zucchini. Luckily for me, this zucchini is just over a pound. So after I chop off the end, we're good to go. You might need 2 or 3 or 4 sometimes. Just make sure when you're at the vegetable counter, you're weighing your zucchini to be just about a pound. Now, zucchini has a really high water content, so I'm going to be grating it today to start the gratin, but I need to get some of the water out of it. So what I'm going to do is only cut off the one end. Cut off the end with the stem, and that's because we're going to be grating this, so I want to have a handle. I want to have the other end available to hold on to because the zucchini can kind of get slippery, and you do not want to damage your knuckles. So I'm going to leave this end on and just start grating. Go right down. And this is going to get messy. There's going to be some zucchini flying all over the place. That's fine. That's just how it is. So we want to grate the zucchini. Just on a regular box grater on the biggest setting. You could also do this in a food processor if you have that attachment. I feel like it goes by so quick. Literally, as soon as I'm done talking about it, it's going to be ready. See why I wanted? Because I don't want to get my knuckles too close. So I'm going to do a couple last passes, and that's it. There we go. See? Perfect reason why I left it there. So now we have our zucchini. And what we're going to do is transfer it to a colander, just like this. And I'll tell you why in a second. Pick it up, drop it in. Now this looks like a lot of zucchini right now, but you'll be surprised that once we get some of the water out of it, it's definitely going to shrink in the amount that we have. How are we going to get the water out? Well, I'll tell you. We are going to use some regular kosher salt. And what we're going to do is sprinkle it right on top. You have to be kind of generous because the zucchini is not really going to soak up the salt. All the salt's going to do is draw out the water. So I put two big heaping handfuls in there, pinches. And I'm going to just mix it with my hands like this. And then, whoops. I'm actually going to add a little bit more salt after I mix it. Just 2 more pinches, just like that. Now, once you mix it for the last time, we're going to spread it out like this. And the zucchini has to sit in this colander for at least 5 minutes. I'm going to actually let it sit for about 25 minutes. I feel like that's what really draws all of the water out of the zucchini. Because you don't want a watery casserole or gratin, whatever you're making. You want to make sure you draw the salt out. Draw the liquid out with the salt. So I'm going to be waiting on this for 25 minutes. Meet me back here because I'm going to show you how we get all of the water out of this. So my zucchini has been sitting with the salt for about 25 minutes, and as you can see, it has generated a lot of water. But I'm actually going to even squeeze out a couple, a little bit more water because it's still sitting in there. So we want to just squeeze it gently, and I'll pick this up so you can see. We're going to squeeze the zucchini, get out as much water as we can, just pushing it into the colander. The more water we get out now, the more water we do not have in the gratin. Okay, I'm going to do one last squeeze. There we go. That looks good. So remember how we had all that zucchini before? This is what we're working with now. But this is the perfect amount for what we want to do. So meet me by the stove because we're going to saute this with some onion and garlic. I have some olive oil heating on the stove in a large pan. And to that, we're going to add in a small onion and a couple cloves of garlic. This is going to be part of the base for our gratin. You know I love my sizzle. That means that we are doing everything right. That means the oil is hot, the pan is hot, and the veggies are going to cook beautifully. Mix those around a little. And then we're going to go right in with our garlic, chopped up garlic. We want to sweat these out. We want them to get nice and soft. And to help us do that, we're going to add in a couple spices. Just a little bit of salt. Just a sprinkling right like that. And then also some black pepper. Now that the onions and garlic have sweated out and are nice and soft, we're going to add in the zucchini that we strained earlier. I'm going to go in with my spatula and get it all in there. Now, this was 1 pound of zucchini that we had gotten the reserved water out using some salt and letting it sit for about 25 minutes. So what we're going to do is add in a tiny bit more salt just because we want to season the zucchini now that it's in the pan. Some pepper. And then the key ingredient, spice, to this gratin is actually going to be some nutmeg. Nice and sweet. Oh, so good. This is going to be a great contrast to the cheese that we're going to top this with, which is Gruyere cheese. One of the cheeses that I never used to cook with, and now I cook with it so much because it has such a wonderful flavor. And it goes really good. It pairs so well with the nutmeg. Now the nutmeg, how much you want to add is kind of up to you. I like to add a good sprinkling on everything and then taste it right before we put it into the casserole dish and see if I have enough in there. You want to add a little as you go because if you add too much, you're in trouble. There's not much you can do then if you add too much nutmeg. And it is kind of a strong spice once you get to that point. So you want to be careful. So now that the zucchini is nice and warm, I'm actually going to taste a little piece of it just to get, see if we need any more seasoning. Salt and pepper are great, but I'm going to add a little bit more nutmeg. And this is the point where you have to just taste and go. I'm going to do another sprinkling, pretty heavy sprinkling on all the ingredients. And we're going to mix it one more time. To the zucchini, we're going to add in some heavy cream. Now you can use heavy cream, you can use half and half. It's whatever you have at hand. I'm going to use heavy cream today just because I think it'll make it nice and luxurious and nice and creamy. So we're going to pour it on top just like that. Just like that. And before you know it, it's going to start bubbling up just like this. We want to kind of scrape all of those onion and garlic and zucchini bits off the bottom of the pan. And without even using any flour, we are going to thicken this side dish. While this reduced down, just for a minute or so, I'm going to get my cheese ready for my topping. Now you want to keep Gruyere cheese in the fridge until you need it. So I just took this out 2 seconds ago because I wanted to keep it nice and cold because it grates a lot easier that way. We are just going to use half of this block. This is an 8-ounce block and we're just going to use 4 ounces. If I can never get it open, we'll use it. There we go. All right. This is actually a smoked Gruyere cheese, and you can smell it. It has so much flavor. I have made this dish without the smoky Gruyere, and it's not the same. So if you can find smoked Gruyere, it's definitely worth it because it just makes the dish give it that much more flavor. What we're going to do is just grate half of this just on a regular box grater, which will take me no time at all. All right, so this chunk we're going to save. The rest of this is going to top our gratin. As you can see, the liquid has reduced by a lot. So now we have a wonderful mixture here that's not too wet. So we're going to turn the heat off on that. Go over to our baking dish, which I sprayed with cooking spray, and I think it's just an OCD thing of mine. I just like to spray things. I'd rather have it be coming out of the pan perfectly instead of getting stuck and, being a mess. So I just do it just to be safe. I'm going to pour my zucchini mixture right in. We're going to spread this mixture out into an even layer. The only other thing we have to do is top it with the glorious Gruyere cheese. Spread that all around. And I find that using 4 ounces of this cheese is probably the best way to go because it really just coats the top and it will spread out a little bit and it will be super. It's going to be great. Okay, so now we're going to pop this into a 375-degree oven, and I will meet you back here so I can taste this and show you how amazing it looks once it comes out of the oven. Breathe this in. This is amazing. You can smell the Gruyere before I even cut into it. This is amazing. You guys need to make this. I'm actually going to portion myself out a little square because I need you to see when you break through that top cheese layer, it's like you're breaking into a creme brulee. I'm telling you, it's like the cheese, the smoky cheese just kind of takes on this hard exterior, and we have a beautiful, beautiful gratin. Look at that cheese. It's perfect. Without further ado, I'm going to try this. Not only because I love it, but because I want to tell you guys exactly what it tastes like. And as you can see, it's still nice and steamy. Oop, dropped a little bit. It's okay. Happy dance. That is what this is. It is so amazingly good. The Gruyere melts in with the heavy cream. The zucchini is so velvety, smooth. The onion and garlic, same thing. They just kind of melt. Everything kind of just melts together and becomes this amazing dish with a handful of ingredients. Low carb, simple, easy. What more could you want? You don't have to substitute flavor for low carb. You don't. You can do it with other things. There is no starch in here. There's no flour in here. And this tastes like $1,000,000. I'm telling you. You put this on the side of anything. Chicken, pork, beef. People will want this recipe and you will tell them, here you go, but it's low carb. They won't even know. You need to make this. I think I say that after every recipe, but I totally mean it. You have to try this. Give it a try. So good. Cat Heart blog, Little Piece of Heart. Check it out. Check out all my other recipes, and I will see you again next time for Little Piece of Heart.